Hello and welcome. You tune into Market Fatafat with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me as always is Snehi Shah. And in the next 1 hour, we'll take you through all the buzzes in trade, why they're buzzing, either on the back of news flow or on the back of technical charts. But first up, let's take stock of how the markets are doing. Snehi, market is firing on all cylinders today. In fact, a big relief coming in on two accounts. Firstly, the ceasefire, and now some relief coming in on the tariff war front also. Look at India VIX also. That has cooled off good 14% today.
Absolutely. In fact, you know what? India VIX has spiked slightly from the day's lowest point. At one point, we were lower by a good 17 to 18%. In fact, more than that on the India VIX, we were sub the 18 mark. But now we're once again at 18.5. Slight uptick is what we've seen on the India VIX from the day's lowest point. But let's talk about what the index is doing right now. Nifty 50 up 3.5%. I believe this is the day's highest point coming in for Nifty 50. There it is. Yes, it is. 24,838, the day's highest point coming in for Nifty, and it is an 800-point uptick coming in from where we closed on Friday. Very big move coming in on the market today. Sensex 2 in tandem with 3.5%, almost uptick coming on that front as well. Nifty Bank also in tandem with the Nifty, but now underperforming the Nifty. At one point it was outperforming the Nifty, but Nifty Bank now 3.1% higher. Remember, Nifty 50 is up 3.5%. And you have the broader markets also that are doing pretty well in tandem with the index. Nifty mid cap is up a good 3.6% today. Small cap is doing phenomenally well for itself, up almost 4% in today's trading session. Now you have 48 names from the Nifty 50 pack that are in the green right now, led by Adani Enterprises, Infosys, Shriram Finance, HCL Tech, Wipro, Tata Steel, Jio Financial and JSW Steel. All of them trading with gains of anywhere between 5 and 7.5%. On the flip side, the two stocks that are in the red and continue to languish today, Indus Bank 3.5% lower, and Sun Pharma also ever since the get-go has been 3% lower, and Sun Pharma and Indus Bank both continue to languish in today's trade. Sectorally, you have most of the sectors in red, barring one, that's Nifty Pharma. That is also right now flopping between the green and red, so it's absolutely at the flat line. Nifty IT, no question over there, the biggest sectoral gainer today, a very good 6% uptick coming in on Nifty IT. That is followed by Nifty Metal, Realty, Energy. You have Media, PSU Banks, Auto and FMCG. Even the least gaining sector, that's FMCG, is up 2.3%. So very healthy moves coming over there as well. But well, yes, there has been some pressure on the pharma space ever since we've heard that Donald Trump is going to be announcing some tariffs on that note, and we are expecting to hear some announcements later for us as well. So Nifty Pharma absolutely flat right now, but well, yes, in the red nonetheless, and that is what the market breadth is shaping up to be like right now. Some stocks that are doing very well in today's trading session, barring from the ones that we are going to be speaking about at their all-time high, you have a bunch of names like BSE, Coromandel, SRF, Bharti Hexacom, CET. All of these stocks are at their fresh all-time high today, so good moves coming in across these names as well. But that's what the market construct is looking like right now.
Absolutely, what a day coming in as far as the markets are concerned. Firing on all cylinders today is Indian market. But let's get started with all the stocks that are in focus today. From our from our research team, we're joined by Ansh and Ravinder, and we will have our techie join us also. But let's get started with all the names that are in focus today. Hi Ansh, hi Ravinder, thank you for joining us. Let's get started with all the names then. We have the first counter that is in focus, and that's Dr. Reddys stock. That was up 4% in trade today. Amid heavy volumes. In fact, the stock was bucking the overall trend in the pharma stocks in this Monday morning. Of course, the pharma stocks are in focus on the back of that Trump announcement on the tariffs. But let's take a look at the report card for Dr. Reddys. It has posted 22% year-on-year rise in the consolidated profit, for the fourth quarter, which came in at 1,593 crores, and the PAT beat was enabled by higher net finance income and lower taxation due to reversal for tax provisions of foreign currency translation reserve or transfer being non-taxable. Now, the revenues for the period were also up 20% at 8,500 crores, and the outperformance in the top line was driven by significant jump in the Europe because of the nicotine replacement therapy acquisition, supported by contribution from the generics portfolio. The EBITDA, for the company for the quarter was up 16% at 2,050 crores, and the EBITDA margin, however, dipped 80 basis points to 24% due to lower gross margins and elevated SG&A. A couple of brokerage notes coming in out there. JM Financials came out with a brokerage note saying that they expect DRL's FY26 top line to grow at 23%, with EBITDA margin to remain at similar levels as in FY25. They also We also had Motilal Oswal come out with a note saying that after 3 years of 30% earnings CAGR over FY21 to FY24, estimates the company has ended FY25 with a moderate 6% earnings growth, but nonetheless they are maintaining a positive stance on the company.
Okay, so Dr. Reddy Labs up 3% on the back of its earnings. We have Sameet Chavan also joining us on the show on the technical. Sameet, hi, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Birlasoft is the stock that you've picked out for us. So first up, let's get started by that. Today itself, the stock is up 8.5%, given the way the market is moving. But nonetheless, last 6 months, the stock was lower by 26%. Year to date, also the stock has not done all that much despite the gain that the stock has seen today. What's the outlook on the charts going ahead for Birlasoft?
Good afternoon. The moment the dust settled on the global as well as domestic front, we saw some respite in the IT counters which have been beaten in last few months. Overall, if you see Birlasoft, which has been consolidating around its important support of 340, in last 3 weeks this stock consolidated around the 380, 385, and since morning we are seeing good traction in this counter. The kind of volume activity that we are witnessing since morning, along with the price action, it suggests that at least for a short term, we are likely to see some revival in this counter. So, as far as Bsoft is concerned, the next important resistance to look at would be around 440, 445, which coincides with the daily 89 exponential moving average. On the low side, 380, 365 would act as a very strong support. So any decline in next couple of days would be a good buying opportunity in case of Bsoft.
Those are the levels to watch out for on Birlasoft. Let's move on and talk about another high flyer in today's trade, and that's Preve Turbine. Ever since the get-go, the stock has been up and away, almost a 9% gain coming in on that stock right now as well, and has sustained all of those gains ever since the opening bell on the back of a very good set of Q4 numbers. Consolidated revenue from operations came in at 538 crores compared to 458 crores, which is an uptick of 18% on a year-on-year basis. Net profit too has seen a healthy jump of 24% year-on-year, coming in at 94 crores compared to 76 crores this time last year. EBITDA came in at 120 crore, which is an uptick of 33% year-on-year. Margins have also expanded at 22% compared to 20% on a year-on-year basis, so that's an uptick of 200 bips on a year-on-year basis. Now the company recorded order bookings worth 630 crores in Q4, reflecting a 44% year-on-year growth, while export order bookings declined 27% to 190 crore. Domestic order bookings surged 150% to 440 crore. Order bookings for FY25 also hit a new high at 2,363 crores, which is up 26% from the previous year. The board has recommended a final dividend of 2 rupees per equity share. So that's the earnings fine print on Preve Turbine. Very good set of numbers. Order book also at all-time high. Almost 9% uptick is what we are seeing the stock trade at right now.
Right, moving on. That counter, the next counter that's in focus today, and that is Dixon Tech. That is in focus today. Anshu, tell us what's the news flow here. That's another counter that's firing away on all cylinders today, upwards of 4.5%. Tell us what's the news flow.
So Dixon Tech has entered into a contract manufacturing agreement with Nextel India Private Limited to manufacture smartphones for the French tech brand Alcatel in the Indian market. And we have comments as well. Mr. Atul Lal, who is the Vice Chairman and MD of the company, has said that this strategic association with the Nextel India will further strengthen their manufacturing excellence and execution capability as well. Also, if you see on chart, then the stock has actually a snap 2 session losing streak, and it is back above that 100 DMA, trading with a gain of more than 4.5% today.
Okay, so that's the take on Dixon Tech. Sameet, coming to you, Nalco is the stock that you've picked out for us. Now, if I pull up the charts of Nalco, well, today the stock is doing pretty okay. Similarly, last 6 months, similar to your previous stock, this stock also last 6 months down 25%. Year to date, not done anything. Last 1 year move was also a 5% cut, but seems to be on the path to recovery. What's the outlook when it comes to Nalco? Because last 5 trading sessions, the stock is up 6%. Do you believe this is the beginning of a recovery, or do you believe this is just a temporary uptick in tandem with the market momentum right now?
Well, you take that call whether all these beaten down counters have bottomed out or not. They were quite oversold. We have already seen a relentless correction in most of these metal counters as well. But since morning we are seeing good traction in most of the metal counters along with the IT counters that we mentioned earlier. So overall, if you see Nalco, which has been consolidating around 160, 150 kind of mark since last 3 weeks, it has given a decisive breakout. So at least on the daily time frame chart, we are seeing a breakout. So we could see this relief move getting extended towards 178, 180 over the next few days. But if this stock has to give, a decent move in the longer horizon, 180, 185, these are the next important levels to watch out for. Once this stock surpasses 185 on a closing basis, then at least we can say that for next few months, this stock is likely to do well. But as of now, at least a short-term relief towards 180 cannot be ruled out.
Alright, so that's Nalco on the charts, but moving on from that, Ravindra, you picked out Adani Power for us, another counter that's up and away 6% in trade. Tell us what's the news flow here.
Well, yes, Adani Power is in Fokerware company has received a letter of award from Uttar Pradesh Power Corporation Limited for procurement of 1500 megawatt from a new thermal power project, and Adani Power to supply a 1500 megawatt to Uttar Pradesh from an upcoming greenfield power plant. Adani Power bid the lowest tariff at of rupees 5.38 per unit in the competitive tender process, and Adani Power will set up a greenfield of 2 times of 800 megawatt ultra super critical power plant in UP at an investment of $2 billion. So back of this news, stock is up over 6%.
Alright, moving on to the next counter then. ABB India is the counter that is in focus today on the back of its Q4 results. Let's take a look at what the results look like then. The revenue is up 2.6% on a year-on-year basis at 1,360 crore rupees. The net profit also saw an uptick of 3.3% on a year-on-year basis at 474 crores versus 459 crores on a year-on-year basis. Now the EBITDA was also up 3% on a year-on-year basis at 582 crores, and also the margin saw an uptick of 8 basis points on a year-on-year basis at 18.4%. Now from the con call, the ABB management maintains a 12 to 15% margin guidance for FY26. The prime focus is likely to be on Indian market, and they said that more global divisions are using their base for opening into new markets. Now capacity expansion plans is also in the works, both organic and inorganic. So on the back of decent set of results coming in and the management commentary, ABB is up 2.6% in trade.
Okay, so good outlook for ABB coming in from the management. Stock looking very healthy. Sameet, coming to you, ABB Capital is the chart that you've picked out for us, Aditya Birla Capital. Now, while year to date the stock is doing pretty okay for itself, it's up 15 odd percent. Last 1 year the stock has seen a cut of 8%. So it's on the path to recovery, but how sustainable is this on the charts, and what are the next levels you're watching?
See, looks like it is likely to sustain for some time. Overall, if you see, stock has seen good outperformance in last 2 odd months, wherein we saw some broad-based sell-off in the market. So Aditya Birla Capital had already formed a good base around 155, 160. From there, we can see a series of higher highs, higher lows on daily as well as weekly time frame charts. And since last few days, this stock was hovering around its 200-day simple moving average. So the kind of price and volume activity that we are witnessing today, it suggests that the stock is likely to come out of its recent slumber phase and is likely to move beyond 210. So the chart structure looks quite promising, and from here on the next important levels to watch out for around 218 and 223. So any dip would be a good buying opportunity. And as far as base is concerned, earlier it was around 170. It has now shifted higher to 190, 185.
Next levels to watch out for on ABB Capital. Let's move on and talk about Interglobe Aviation, a high flyer in today's trading session. This is on the back of a positive news flow coming in. It's a development from the ceasefire front, and now the government is likely to issue the NOTAM soon. The revised or new NOTAM will cancel the closure of 32 airports. Remember, NOTAM stands for Notice to Airmen. Airlines are getting prepared for the operations but may take time to schedule regular flight ops, and airlines have received the communication that 25 cancelled routes have been reopened. What we understand from agencies is that Indigo has said that in line with the latest government directives, the airports are open for operations. They will be progressively starting operations on previously closed routes soon. So that's a statement coming in from Indigo, but this is what we're understanding from agencies once again. And Interglobe Aviation on the back of this news flow is up 7.6%. It's a positive news flow because the the fear around airports getting closed, and the airports that were actually closed that have now been ordered to be opened up. Progressively, operations are going to begin once again, and it's all going to be on the normal course for interglobe aviation now that the ceasefire has been implemented between India and Pakistan. On the back of that, stock doing pretty well, up 7.6%.
Right, Interglobe Aviation flying high in trade today. Coming to you, Ansh, Tata Steel is the name that you picked out for us. An earnings candidate that is set to report its quarter four earnings. But before that, we are seeing an uptick of almost 5.5% coming in on Tata Steel. Tell us what to expect from this counter.
That's right. So revenue is expected at 55,617 crore, which is up by around 4% on sequential basis and down by around 5% on a year-to-year basis. Margins are expected at 11.7% as compared to 11% in previous quarter. And if you compare with the previous year, it was 11.2%. Now, higher volume and operating leverage is expected to aid the India performance. Now, apart from this number, there are a few other things to watch out for. First is UK transition. Second is expansion and capex plan in India over next 2 to 3 years. And third is most important, management commentary on tariff and impact on its European operational is very crucial thing to watch out for.
Okay, so that's the reason Tata Steel is in focus. That's the numbers that are going to be expected later today. But Sameet, coming to you, HCL Tech is the stock that you've picked out for us. It's among the top Nifty gainers in today's trading session. The overall IT pack also doing very well. But last 6 months, if I pull up the stock, a 10% cut is what we've seen on the charts. Last 3 months as well, the stock is lower by 3%. Tell us what's the outlook for HCL Tech on the charts now.
See, clearly, year to date, if you see, this stock has not performed well. But if you see its performance since April low, in nearly 1 month or 4 to 5 weeks, this stock has already given a stellar move, more than 20-25% relief move. It has already given in last 4 to 5 weeks. And now, since morning, the kind of volume activity that we have been witnessing, stock has managed to surpass its recent hurdle on the daily time frame chart. We can see a bullish flag pattern getting confirmed. Also, it has managed to traverse its 89-day exponential moving average. So this is one of the strongest counter within the IT stocks if you see its performance in last 1 month. So overall, we continue to expect this move to extend. Next level to watch out for around 1740. But once this stock surpasses 1740, will not be surprised to see this stock even heading towards 1850 in coming months.
All right, moving on then from HCL Tech on the charts. Ravinder, coming to you, you picked up BEML for us. Tell us what's the news flow here.
Well, as BEML is in focus, where government of Madhya Pradesh has approved and allotted the 60.6063 hectares of land to the company for setting up a construction facility to manufacture rolling stock coaches for railway and metro project in the state. Apart from this, Chhattisgarh cabinet has also approved the allotment of 100 acres of land in Champa district to the company. So back of this both news, stock is up approx 5%.
Positive news flow coming in for BEML, and that's the reason the stock is up as well. But Ankita, what's your next pick?
My next pick is Chola Finance. That is an earnings candidate. It's reported its quarter four numbers, and the consolidated net profit has come out to be at 1,362 crores for the quarter. And for the financial year ended 31st 2025, the consolidated PAT grew to 4,739 crores from a 3,850 crores registered during the same period in the corresponding quarter of the last financial year. Now, the consolidated net income during the quarter grew to 9,000 crore rupees from a 7,157 crores on a year-on-year basis. On this good set of results coming in for Chola Finance, the stock is up in a way almost 3.5% in trade today.
Okay, so that's the reason Chola is in focus, stock doing pretty well. Sameet, coming to you for Vidanta, tell us what's the outlook when it comes to Vidanta on the charts. What are the next key levels that you're spotting when it comes to Vidanta? Last 3 months, the stock has done pretty okay, like 2.5% uptick is what the stock has seen in the last 3 months. Not much movement, but what's the outlook going ahead?
So if you look at the weekly time frame chart, it appears that the stock is in a process of forming a base around 360, 380. Recently, we've already seen a good pullback move towards 400, 410, and after a consolidation of nearly a couple of weeks, this stock has managed to give a decisive breakout from bullish black pattern. So from here on, the next level to watch out for would be around 450, 455. Minor dip probably towards 425, 422 would make it a good risk to reward candidate. So overall, today's breakaway gap would act as a very strong support zone, which is placed from 400 and 410. So minor dip would be a good buying opportunity. 450, 455. These are the next levels to watch.
Okay, so those are the levels to watch out for on Vidanta. But let's move on and talk about Indus Bank. This stock is in focus in today's trading session. And let's tell you, there are actually two reasons why the stock is in focus, and lots of news flow has been seen for this stock over the course of the weekend. And let's start by looking at what happened on Friday, because an independent review has found issues that may need to be assessed from an insider trading perspective, is what we are understanding from the bank. A forensic review by audit and advisory that was held by the firm Grant Thornton found that bank CEO Sumant Katpalia and Deputy Arun Khurana, who stepped down last month, traded in Indus shares while they were aware of the accounting lapses at the bank, but before those were made public. The bank is examining these findings in the report, and based on the outcome of such examination, they will let the exchanges know. So that's a major allegation coming in on Indus Bank on the back of insider trading by its top management. Global rating agency Moody's, this is the second reason. Moody's on Fridays downgraded the standalone credit profile of Indus Bank from BA1 to BA2, citing weakness in its internal controls, highlighted by discrepancies in derivatives accounting and inadequate management oversight. The agency also raised concerns over the bank's medium-term strategy, pointing to the resignation of senior leadership without adequate succession planning. This is the statement that we also got from Moody's on the exchanges. So double whammy coming in for Indus Bank. On the back of that, the stock is lower by 3.5% as we speak.
All right, the stock is declining away in trade amid this market with cuts of almost more than 3.5%. But Sameet, tell us, what are you seeing on the charts for this one? Fundamentally, the stock has seen a lot in the last 1 month, and today also it is seeing sharp cuts coming in. But from here on, how do you see the stock moving? More drawdown for the stock on the charts?
See, although this stock managed to give some, recovery in last 1.5 months from the levels of 650, 630 towards 850. Technically speaking, the stock is still in a downtrend. We can see a series of resistances around 850 to 900, 950. So it would be a daunting task for this particular counter to surpass 900, which coincides with the massive breakaway gap that happened on 11th March. So overall, there's a challenge for this counter, 859 and 950. So this cluster is likely to see some sort of, resistance level rejection in this counter whenever this stock manages to move towards those important levels. So technically speaking, yes, stock has managed to breach below its 20-day moving average, which is placed around 805, which is a sign of weakness. So probably, next leg of the correction is likely to come towards say 750, 720 in case of Indus Bank.
So the next levels to watch out for Indus Bank, but let's move on. Before we move on, let's just take a look at what Nifty and Nifty Bank are up to. Just drawing your attention to the flash on the bottom of the screen. Nifty right now has seen its biggest intraday gain since Feb of 2021. Very big spike up coming in on the Nifty today. It's up almost 3.5%. For Nifty Bank, it's the biggest intraday gain seen in the last 5 months. So very positive for Nifty Bank as well. That index also up 3%.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.